Welcome to Section 3, Locating Web Elements in the Browser. In this section, we're going to take a look at how to implement locators using Java. We'll also show you how to identify different types of web elements using Java. And then lastly, we'll show you how to locate elements using XPath, which is a helpful way to get those hard-to-get elements that no other method will get. Welcome to Implementing Locators using Java. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to implement a random Wikipedia search. We'll show you how to locate a link using different types of CSS selectors. And then lastly, I'll show you how to use custom locators in our code. So let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is I want to do a quick walkthrough of kind of the code that we'll be writing, and we'll kind of step through it manually first before we write any code. So as I mentioned, we're going to be doing a random Wikipedia search. So essentially what we want to automate is we want our code to open up an instance of Firefox, like you see here, and we want to go and visit the English homepage of Wikipedia. So we type in en.wikipedia.org, and we pull up the homepage here. And then we want our code to go ahead and go over to this left-hand sidebar, and we want to go ahead and find the link that says random article. So let's think about how we can locate that. So if we right-click or control-click this link and we go down and say inspect element, we can actually see that the element is down here, and it looks like we can locate, it's a list item in the HTML, and it has an ID of n-random page. So we'll be able to locate that link using this ID. So let's make note of that and we'll come back. Now, when we click this link, we will be taken to a random page on Wikipedia. And we want to go ahead and capture this header right here and print it out to our console so we know what page we've arrived on. So let's see how we can inspect this header and see if there's an ID or anything. And looking down here, inspecting the HTML, yeah, so it's an H1 tag with an ID of first heading. So let's go ahead and make note of that as well. And we will go ahead and try and describe this in the code. So essentially we want to open up the Wikipedia homepage, find the random article link, click that, and then capture the name of the article that we pulled up, and we want to print that in the browser. All right, so go ahead and fire up your editor. Again, you're free to use whatever you'd like, but I'll be using IntelliJ IDEA. And so what I want you to go ahead and do is create a new project, call it Random Wiki, and then in your source folder, go ahead and create a new Java source called Random Wiki Test. And let's go ahead and do that. So we have public class random wiki test. And so now we have an empty public class called random wiki test. And before we get started, let's go ahead and add some imports in. So as I've shown you in the previous videos, make sure you add your jar files and make sure that you also have the Java language bindings. And also make sure that you have downloaded the Gecko driver as well. So first of all, let's go ahead and import our Firefox driver. So let's say import org.openqa.selenium.firefox.firefox driver. And we're also going to do one more import, and we're going to say import org.openqa.selenium.by. All right, great. So now we have an empty class and two imports, so let's go ahead and write our main function. So we start by saying public static void main. We pass in our list of arguments, string args, and we're also going to say throws, interrupted, exception. And here we go. So right off the bat, like we've done in previous videos, we need to go ahead and tell the system where our Gecko driver executable is. So we do that by saying system.set property and say WebDriver.gecko Driver, and then we provide the location where our Gecko driver is. All right, great. So now let's go ahead and create an instance of the Firefox driver. Say Firefox driver, we'll call it driver. All right, and so now the first thing we want to do is we want to visit Wikipedia homepage. And the next thing that we want to do is we want to find random article link. Then we want to click random article link. Then we also want to print random page title, and that should do it. So let's go ahead and start filling this out one by one. So we know how to visit a page, as we've seen in the other videos. Simply we do driver.get, we say https://en.wikipedia.org. Now, we want to find the random article link. So if we think back, we noticed that it was a CSS selector and it was an ID. So there's a kind of an easy way to do that. So we use the method driver.findElement, and we need to tell this method how we're going to find the element on the page. So we're going to say by, and we'll say CSS selector, and we'll pass in the string hash, and that is the CSS selector for ID. We'll say hash n dash random page, and this next step down here says click random article link. And actually we can do it really easy up here. We can actually just say click, and that's a method on the element that we're finding with our CSS selector. We add a semicolon. So once we've found our random page and we click it, we're going to be redirected to a random page on Wikipedia. So let's go ahead and sleep our program here. We'll say thread.sleep, and we'll do 5 seconds, just so we can visually verify that we are on a random page. And then we want to print the random page title. So we've seen this before. We'll say system.out.println driver.get title. And last but not least, we say driver.quit to free up all the resources and close our instance of Firefox. One thing I realized up here is there is an error. You have to say new Firefox driver. So let's go ahead and save that. And now we're ready to build and run. All right, so let's go ahead and build our project. And now let's try and run it and do a random wiki search. So let's go ahead and see what happens. So there's actually an error in my path up here, and I'll go ahead and fix that. And now we will build the project. And let's go ahead and run. So we're spinning up an instance of Firefox. And then if we go and look in the console down here, we have printed out the page title, which is Bossa Studios-Wikipedia, and then it closed our instance of Firefox. So there you have it. We just did our first random Wikipedia search, completely automated, using Selenium WebDriver. In the next video, we'll go a bit further and show you how to identify different types of web elements using Java code.